Hello everybody, my name is Dylan, also known as PatsFan177. Welcome back to the channel again today. Thank you for tuning in. I've got another one of my Patriots news roundup videos to do for you today. And just like the last two, I will be starting this one off with news of another opt-out. The 8th one so far. This player is tight end Matt LaCosse, and he will be opting out of the season, citing his wife Jessica being pregnant and due during the season. Now again, this is another unfortunate thing. It's a very tough decision for them, obviously. You understand why they would do this. A lot of the players that have opted out have cited stuff like this, young children or other family members that they are concerned about, as well as their own health situation. Marcus Cannon being a cancer survivor, that's completely understandable why he would want to opt out of the season. But like I said, that is the 8th member of the New England Patriots to opt out. I believe as of today, no other team in the NFL has more than 2 opt-outs. So obviously it's hitting the Patriots very hard, but luckily they've had no positive COVID tests, so maybe that'll kind of offset. I haven't heard of any positive COVID tests as of right now, at least. So hopefully that will stay the same, and you hope that, the guys there now will kind of be set and they'll be able to start off the season. But one thing that I did want to say about this is that now the New England Patriots are swimming in cap space. They have more than $35 million in cap space, third most in the NFL right now. So a lot of this is leading to speculation, as I'm going to talk about in a minute, about what they could do with that cap space, and I touched on this a little bit in the last video. But there are a couple reasons why I think that Bill would probably be smart to hold on to some of this cap space. One reason is that obviously the player pool right now is not as good as it was at the beginning of free agency. There are still some names out there that can help your team. There are still some people out there that can really help the Patriots out, especially at positions of need right now, veterans and stuff like that. But obviously this free agent pool is not as strong as it was, at the beginning of free agency. Another reason I think is that with these contracts rolling over to next year and the cap probably not going up maybe at all, I'm not sure what the cap situation will be next year with the financial situation of the NFL, but it would be smart to hold on to some of this money and try to roll it over into next offseason, because these contracts that you didn't know were going to be on the books next year are now on the books for next year. It's a whole complicated thing. It's really unfortunate again, and it's a whole new thing that we didn't expect to have, but they should be in good shape. They're in good shape right now, and they should be pretty good next year. They're going to have a lot of space, and you never know what they're going to do with it. I still believe that Bill will find ways to spend some of this money, but I would not be shocked if he holds on to some, if not most of it, just to kind of give himself that insurance policy, and maybe if he wants to make a move at the trade deadline, or someone gets cut in camp that you didn't know they were going to be available. You never know. It's definitely a very fluid situation, so you'll have to kind of wait and see how it plays out. But one thing and one name that is getting a lot of speculation right now is tight end Delanie Walker, and according to Jeremy Fowler, the Patriots have been one of the several teams that have expressed interest in the soon-to-be 36-year-old tight end who was a Pro Bowler in 3 straight years, but unfortunately, as it says here, has played only 8 games over the last 2 seasons, so his production has been way down. But with Matt LaCosse opting out, it would be good. As I said in a previous video, I mentioned Matt LaCosse as the guy to maybe be that Algie Crumpler type for Devin Asiasi and Dalton Keene, as Crumpler was to Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez. Bill seems to like when he's got a very young room or a young position on a team. He likes to have that veteran presence to sort of help them out and kind of get them acclimated to the NFL. Even if that person isn't the most productive, they can still provide that presence, and I think that really does have an impact on some of these younger guys. So we'll see how that goes. They still do have 2 other undrafted free agent tight ends, and Ryan Izzo is still there, even though he was a healthy scratch for a lot of the season last year, and he had some struggles with blocking. He seemed to be okay receiving, but I'm not sure if they would go. And he's still a very young man too. I think he's entering his second or third year in the league. So it's definitely not someone who's a very seasoned veteran like Walker is. So I would like this move. This wouldn't be bad. Um, Again, we'll see how it goes because we don't make these decisions, but that would be something to see. Definitely be very interesting. Now, one other thing that happened is they announced the coaching staff and they made some minor changes to their front office, promoting Director of Pro Scouting Dave Ziegler to Assistant Director of Player Personnel. So right behind Nick Caserio. That's a pretty big role for him, and Monty Ossenfort obviously going to Tennessee. I believe he went there. Ziegler will probably be taking his role. So that's a very big thing. That's a promotion for him. And one other thing is Elliot Wolf is a scouting consultant. They acquired him this offseason, and he was with the Cleveland Browns and the Green Bay Packers. So some minor things there, and I already showed you the coaching staff that they finalized. Vinny Sunseri was here, Tyler Hughes, some new positions and people that weren't in those positions last year. A couple minor changes, not that much to worry about there. And one last thing, I'll end on some good news like I did last time, showing the wide receiver and quarterback workouts, and this is another one. Here's Cam Newton. They have the headshots done now, but I'm not going to show those. You can find those over on Patriots.com, the official team headshots of them. But I thought I would go through kind of some of these practice photos, and obviously this one of Cam Newton stretching. It appeared that the other day they were just doing conditioning drills and stretching, not any real hard practice. But yeah, you've seen here Jawan Bentley. We've got a lot of pictures here. This is great to see. It's always great to see him getting back to work. James White, Matthew Slater. It's awesome to see that this is actually happening. You know, we haven't had people out there for a while. We haven't had football on. So it's nice to see that they're hopefully going to make the accommodations needed for keeping the players safe, and hopefully they will be able to have this season. And one last guy I wanted to talk about is this man right here, Jojuan Williams, who about a month ago this came out, and he is You Want to Challenge and Compete for Time. That is his goal. He did not play very much in his rookie season, and for a guy who was sort of a high draft pick, you expected more from him. But I think he has a very good opportunity this year because I believe the defensive secondary is kind of going to be a guessing game. It's going to be, you're going to go through the season and see how it works out. And this guy could really slot in with the safeties. He said he was working on that. And at the time, I didn't think much of it. But then, obviously, with Patrick Chung opting out and losing Deron Harmon this offseason, you know, you've got some youth there, but you've also got veterans that could help him out. You never know how it could work for him. You hope that he's able to slot in at some point. He seemed to be a very talented young man, so you hope that this can work out for him. I wish him the best. Obviously, I think he can help the team if he kind of moves around in the secondary. Some days he can play corner, maybe. Some days he can slot in at safety. Belichick loves versatility, and so hopefully this man can bring it to the Patriots this season. But yeah, that's about it for today, guys. I hope next video I will not have to talk about another opt-out. Hopefully that's it. And one other thing I would like to say, I am now on Discuss the Game. I have not yet posted anything, but I will be trying to upload an article or two in the coming days. So my name is PatsFan177, as it is on Bleacher Report. Again, go follow my Bleacher Report if you do have it and you want to talk to me. And leave any comments if you want to see any different forms of videos or anything else that you want me to do. And other than that, I hope everybody has a fantastic day, and I'll see you all again very soon.